Hello everyone, we're here at LancasterWall once again. We're going to be talking about these this time. They are the Remora Pro HVs from madrock. So to give you a little bit of an idea of what we're going to be talking about in this video, we're going to start off with the tech specs and what's going on in this shoe in terms of technology, rubbers, all that kind of stuff for you gear nerds out there. We're then going to move on to a little bit of climbing in some different environments around the wall to see how they perform. After that, we're going to give you kind of our sizing suggestions and other considerations you might want to have for these shoes specifically. And then to finish off, we'll give you our total conclusions and our general overview of our first impressions with these shoes. So we're now going to touch on the really geeky parts of this shoe. And I have to say the Remora Pro is a really impressive piece of climbing shoe engineering. There's so many pieces of tech in this shoe that we're going to go through now for you. So what I'll do is I'll start at the front of the shoe and work my way back because yeah, there's quite a lot going on in here. So to start off with, we of course have the huge piece of rubber on the front of the shoe. Now this is a little bit like the Shark 3 from madrock, where it is two different compounds of rubber. You've got the extreme friction on the top, which is the stickiest and grippiest compound, and then you've got Science Friction 3, which is on the bottom of the sole unit. And you also have Science Friction on the back at the heel as well. So that's the rubber. You might start to notice these two patches where the toe kind of knuckles are going to be sitting. They're designed to be very malleable, so the toe patch can mold around the bunched knuckles of your toes right at the front of the shoe, and that helps break the shoe in, make it more comfortable, even though it's a performance shoe. Over the top here on the toe patch, you actually have a little bit of EVA foam in between the upper and the actual toe patch itself, which allows for a little bit more comfort. When you're applying those toe hooks, you've got a little bit of cushion in there, which you can actually find on the Undercomp from Last But Either. So it's interesting to see that technology starting to come through into different brands as well as other shoes. Back to the bottom now. The midsole is the same as the Drone 2.1, so it is this scallop shaped compressed polyester midsole, which is pretty minimal. But unlike the Drone 2.1, I'm not sure how they've done this, it is incredibly soft and malleable. It is a really, really soft shoe. So yeah, a bit of wizardry going on there from madrock. And a little bit further up now, we actually have this volume adjuster, which again, you can see on shoes like the Shark 3. So you remove this Velcro tab and it allows you to adjust that volume right over the top of the toe patch there. Really nice again to help with breaking in the shoe, but also if you've got slightly different volume feet or you are really struggling to find a shoe that has adjustment to allow for a lower volume for your feet. I've got very low volume feet, so this is kind of ratcheted as close as it will go to the end of its adjustment, and I find it really nice and flush over the top of my foot. Moving to the rear of the shoe now, we have, a little bit of a homage to the drone heel. There's the, they call it the 3D, what is it? The 3D hooking rim heel. Yeah, okay. This 3D hooking rim heel, which is what madrock are calling it. It's a lot subtler than the drone's kind of cheat heel, but yeah, I quite like it. I quite like how it's more of a standard heel with a hint of an edge to it, so you can kind of apply it when you want it rather than it feeling like it gets in the way. I think that's a nice refinement, in my opinion, to this shoe. And the last and probably most interesting part is there are, probably struggle to make it out on camera, there are two little cushions on either side of the back of the heel cup which sit just flush against your kind of your Achilles. I thought this might be a little invasive. It might feel like your Achilles is getting compressed, but actually they're just nice little pillows almost, kind of resting against your Achilles, but kind of locking your heel in a little bit more. So again, really nice refinement and focus on aiding with comfort, even though the shoe is still a very high performance shoe. So overall, as you can tell, there's a lot going on in this shoe. But let's find out how all these elements come together and if they make the climbing experience joyous or awful. Warm-up time. Remember kids, it's responsible to warm up. Otherwise you get ouchies, especially if you're 30 and above. Which I am. Whoa! Maybe. Whoa. Nearly. Here's a brush. Here's a brush, lad. Brush your bloomin' olds, folks. Brush your bloomin' olds. More shoulder required. Lovely! Whew. Yeah, it's cool that. They did well there. Comp shoes, comp Callum. So that was a little exciting, wasn't it? So yeah, the Remoras feel really, really good on big smears just like that. They're very much at home there when you're bouncing around, big dynamic moves. They're so malleable that they can put so much of that science friction-free rubber down that they grip for days. Really, really impressive. Great on a heel hook and great on a toe hook because they're just covered in rubber on the front end, and that foam over the top of the toes makes it really, really comfortable to just engage, even if you've got quite a lot of momentum going. So yeah, thoroughly enjoying these on the more dynamic problems. So let's go and try these shoes out in a more specific environment like small, tiny footholds and see if they perform well because they are quite malleable. Okay, so we're gonna try these out on hopefully a piece of equipment you might have at your own gym, which is a woody or a training board. This is a digital training board. I think it's at a 25-degree angle, so it's a reasonably accessible training board here at LancasterWall. And the green feet on here are a really good test of a shoe to see whether they're good holding an edge. To be honest, they are quite a rounded edge on them, so a smeary shoe can perform quite well, but sometimes, yeah, you really want to have that hooked edge that you might find on really sharp edged shoes. The edge on these is pretty good, pretty pointed, but not the sharpest. So you kind of give up a little bit of accuracy for more smearability, and that helps with more comp style problems, which these shoes are kind of inspired by. But let's see how they perform on here. Yeah, green feet is going to be tough. Blue.
There's one called the Dark Side of the Moon.
The Dark Side of the Moon, is that 7A?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dark Side of the Moon. Way. Hold on, Matt. Right. Have you just sandbagged me here?
It's not my problem.
It's not your problem. No, it's my problem now. Looks kind of cool though. It's not too many moves.
Yeah, it's good practice.
Okay. Feeling warm. Let's see how we do. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, you're just trying to skip the move. They feel really good on there. That's mad. I was a little reluctant to go further right, but they didn't. I knew where I was and it didn't feel like they were just slipping. They felt really nice on there. Okay.
Can I give you the beta for the feet?
Go on then.
So,
it's funny that. We did used to have that, didn't we, a lot, where it was like, oh, I might have sent that, but was it the way it was intended? What do you guys think? Comment down below whether you feel like you should do things as the route setter intended, or if you get to the top, you've sent it, and you should feel no level of guilt, regardless of how long your limbs may be. Comment down below. Should we give it another bash, Matthew? Yeah. I'm gonna leave it. It's okay. I don't need the ego boost. I'm gonna move on for the good of the video. I'm not gonna waste any more energy on that. I'm gonna come back to it in my own time, my personal time, and it will be sent. Heard it here first, people. Right. Let's try some more toe hooky smeary goodness, maybe, because they felt really good on there. So let's do that, and we'll maybe come back to some more. Maybe something more overhanging or slabby. Right, we're hopefully going to have a bit more success on the slab wall. Got this yellow here with some kind of smaller footholds again, a little bit smeary, just to kind of see how they perform, where I'm going to be putting more weight onto them, less about the arms and the fingies because they're done. And yeah, I'll be intrigued to see how they feel just on that little chip on the volume there. Let's give it a bash. Yeah, really nice on there. Definitely, yeah, they're quite sensitive, so you definitely feel what's underfoot. And not the most supportive shoes in the world, but nicely balanced. Like they don't just give up. And when you weight them, they stick. They don't just shear off. But yeah, nice balance of, I know what I'm standing on. I'm getting a little bit of support, but they're definitely malleable. So they're smearing well, but if I really had to power down and put a lot of power through one tiny edge, yeah, they might be struggling, or my feet might be struggling. Good. So what are the things to consider when buying a Remora Pro HV if you think it might be a shoe for you? So the really important thing is to think, is it going to be the right shape to suit my foot? So a lot of madrocks are generally quite narrow. This shoe specifically has a bit of an asymmetry to it. So if your big toe is the tallest toe on your foot, theoretically that is good. That is a classic toe box shape. The heel is also pretty narrow. So generally for you low volume, narrow footed, classically toe box shaped people out there, this is a really good option for you. So shape fits, that's great. If not, sorry about it. In terms of sizing, what we would recommend is probably half a UK to a full UK size down, because these shoes are quite soft. They're pretty easy to break in and feel quite comfortable. So versus other madrock shoes, yeah, I'm going down a little bit further than I would expect to. You might even be able to go down 1.5 UK sizes if you're really sadistic, but to be honest, I would stick for most people to that half to a full size down in terms of the sizing. Other things you should also consider if you like resoling your shoes. That is probably the one area where there's a lot of development with madrock. They are quite difficult shoes to resole because they're not like traditional shoes where you can just take the outsole off and put a whole new one back on. There's potentially grinding involved, and there isn't a way yet to remove the whole front end of the shoe and put a whole new one back on. But I'd be really intrigued to see what developments madrock are going to have with resoling in the near future. And that brings me on to the price point of the shoe. So resoling now varies between 50 and 70 pounds, and these shoes currently retail at Rock+Run at the time of filming at 108 pounds, which is bonkers for how much technology you get in this very high performance shoe. So yes, the durability of the shoes, it's a little bit early to say, and resoling again is in development, but the price point of replacing a pair of these shoes is quite low versus the competition. So it's well worth considering these, even though at this point in time we don't know whether these are going to be super durable or not. I've had another recommendation. It's lovely black. Apparently it's a very natural flowy movement. We'll see if I can replicate that and make it not look junky. But it should be good. Slightly smaller, yeah, nice collection of holds. So you've got some slightly generous holds that are a little bit slopey, some little chips. So a good mix of things. So we'll see how the Remora deals with these. Oh, you're right. Whee! Cool. Nice. Very nice problem. Thank you, Matt. That was a very good recommendation. Yeah, really cool move there. I was like, am I going to be able to catch the barn door? And yeah, you just do, don't you? Very nice.
You thought about cheating it by bumping the right hand, didn't you?
Maybe. Maybe. But yeah, really cool. Shoes felt, again, like really nice. I'm trying to think of something like constructive, because, you know, we've just been saying the shoes work really, really well. I mean, for what we're doing in here, indoor climbing on various different footholds, really good. I mean, I guess the one thing that we haven't explored, which is kind of outside of climbing, is what the durability would be like, because they are very, very malleable, kind of all over. The compound's pretty good, but it feels like it's quite thin, which gives you a lot of sensitivity, but whether you'd wear through it quickly, I don't know. But yeah, I've had these for about a month or so and they look fairly normal. But again, I'm kind of like 60, 65 kilos, so again, quite light. So if you are heavier, these shoes will, again, probably wear through quicker, and also they will feel even more malleable in the foot. So support is probably the one thing they could improve on, but then that's going to be detrimental to the overall feel of the shoe. It's not what it's kind of designed to do. It's designed for bouncing around comps and smearing everywhere whilst having a decent amount of edging capability, so you can transition to smaller stuff. So it does all that really well. Let's try and find a weak point, shall we? Oh. Okay.
What happened there, mate?
Well, that was a little slippery, that. I mean, that is a horrible foothold.
What were you doing on it?
I was smearing. I wasn't doing the old edgy wedgy. I was doing a little smeary boy on there. I probably wasn't pulling hard enough. But yeah, it was as soon as I caught that, I think there was just a moment where I hadn't weighted my foot enough and it just went whoop.
But that is, you say you weren't pulling hard enough. If you're in a stiffer shoe and you can edge.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would be on top of there. Maybe I should try that next. Maybe I should try outside edge on the top of there. Or maybe I should be trying my right foot on there. Should we give it a go? We try right foot on top instead? Oh dear. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't feel great, but I think that's more me than the shoes. It felt better having both feet on there, but I just feel like I'm coming around. Maybe, yeah, flagging out here. Let's try that. A little bit heavier. Yeah, that's better. Oh, this is rough. Oh. Okay. So yeah, user error. Shoes are still very good. But yeah, as soon as I'm weighting the shoes properly and putting my weight where it needs to be, they work. So, sorry, still trying to find a weakness. Right, we've got room for one more. This is the dessert of the session. And we're gonna try this slightly overhanging, kind of off vert really, black problem. With some reasonably nice feet, a little bit smeary, decent hands, but like kind of rails really more than anything. It's that second to last hold that I'm gonna have to look out for, I think. See if I've got enough left in the tank. Okay. Let's give it a go, I think. What's that for? Oh, it's for this. That's a red herring. Nearly on your head there, Matthew. Whoa. Cool. They're very nice. Yeah, sorry everyone, I'm trying to be a bit more critical, but I'm really enjoying them. They do fit me very well, which certainly helps. And they're nice and soft, and I like soft shoes. So all of this is, yeah, kind of creating an ideal environment for me to enjoy them. Certainly indoor bouldering do that very, very well. I would be really intrigued to see what they'd be like on a sport route or outdoors on like limestone, certainly like glassy limestone. See if they worked quite as well. I mean, if you want us to do that, let us know down below. I'd like to see that. Would you like to see that, Matt? Yeah, cool. yeah, let us know. Let us know if you want to see us climb outside in the Remoras or in other shoes. Let's get some conclusions, shall we? So everyone, yeah, we've gotten to the end of the session. It's been, yeah, I've had a wonderful time. The Remora Pros are a really impressive shoe. I have to say, yeah, they fit me really well. They suit how I like to climb, and they suit the type of shoe that I like to climb in. So all of those are slight, you know, biases for me. But if you like, yeah, softer shoes, you climb a lot indoors, or it's primarily bouldering that you're doing, and you're reasonably lightweight. So I think people under like 75 to 80 kilos will get the most out of these shoes. Anything above that, you'll probably find them, yeah, quite malleable, and they'll be more taxing on your feet. Not to say that you can't wear them. It's just that you won't get as much out of them. Stiffer shoes like the 2.1 or the Drone CS will be better. But back to the Remoras. Conclusions, yeah, really, really strong in here. I think the question marks we have, just because they've not been around for too long, are how durable might they be? And when they come to the end of the outsole's life, what do we do about that? So if you like resoling your shoes, that's something to consider, but I wouldn't let it be a deal breaker for you, because the other thing that is very strong about these shoes is the price point. So we currently retail these at the time of filming at £108. So the cost of a resole these days is around, you know, 50 to 70. So you're almost there. I'm not someone who would be, you know, proposing wastage. So if we get to a point where they're easily resolable, definitely do that. But they aren't that much more expensive than a resole. And for all the technology that you get, the way they perform on the wall in a bouldering indoor environment is phenomenal for the price. And I'm really impressed, really impressed. So good job, Madrock. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you want to pick yourself a pair of these up, you can get them at rock+Run.com, and if you need any advice on fitting or what other options we have available, please feel free to get in touch at info@rock+Run.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. You take care. See you later.